Hi, welcome to this new video. My name is Tony Hernandez Pumarejo. This is your purpose-driven life coach. I want to say thank you for you to tune in to this new video. And if you haven't done so yet, I encourage you to subscribe to my YouTube channel by hitting the like and subscribe button. So that way you can keep up to date for your notifications for any new content that I publish in my YouTube channel. And if you haven't done so, you're more than welcome to follow me on social media. And if you want to learn more about my work and the services that I offer as a coach and how can I potentially, could help you in your journey, then I invite you to visit my website, tonyhernandezpumarejo.com. I repeat, tonyhernandezpumarejo.com. So that way, you can reach out to me and see ways in which I can potentially help you. So I really appreciate it. In today's video, I'm going to talk about a concept or share with you a concept that has been crucial, that has been key in not only my career, but also in my life. This is something that I credit to this principle that I can tell you honestly that if it were for this principle, that perhaps I wouldn't be here today. What is this principle? What is this lesson I want to share with you? Please stay tuned and find out. And as I was talking, I want to share about a lesson, a principle that you perhaps may have heard before somewhere in your life, and it's the principle of doing more than what you get paid for. You may have heard about that before, especially if you are in personal development or in your career, or regardless of the profession that you're in. But doing more than what you get paid for is a principle that I learned, from the book called "The Laws of Success" by Napoleon Hill. I don't know if you heard about Napoleon Hill or you're familiar with his work. Napoleon Hill has written books in the area of personal development. His most famous book is called Think and Grow Rich, which is the book that you most likely have heard about at some point in your life. I learned about Napoleon Hill when I was very focused, especially in personal development. And I read, of course, his book, Think and Grow Rich. But doing my research and my studies, I was able to find out that there was a book that that was released before, Think and Grow Rich, which is called The Laws of Success. So basically, Think and Grow Rich is like a summary of the laws of success. And I can tell you that that book has been a big influence in my life, and I credit that book for where I am today in life. And one of the lessons that Laws of Success, really focus on was the habit of doing more than what you get paid for. And now talking about career in regards to employment, a lot of times we tend to underestimate this simple concept because a lot of times, we focus on just simply doing what is required from us and just doing our jobs, and that's it. Especially if you're, again, depending on the person, I don't know, you who is watching, I don't know about your situation, so I cannot just completely judge out there. But I'm just saying in terms of the marketplace, that's been one of the challenges out there in terms of doing just simply what is required, simply what it is based on your job description, right? But that's a concept that has that a lot of times we take it for granted. And this is something that I'm going to share with you based on my experience and how I have used this concept through my career, and not only my career, but also throughout my life. Because when I started when I got my first ever job, as a cashier, right, in retail. This is a concept that I use because, first, I haven't worked before. I haven't got a job before the one that I got when I became a cashier back, 13 years ago. And so I was not in a position to demand more pay, and again, or demand more benefits, because I was just simply starting. I was just simply starting, and I needed to work from where I was to get to where I want to be, not simply in that job, but also in my life. So my focus was, and also as part of my personal development, my focus was to not simply do the job that I was hired for, but also find ways that I can do more than what is required. Whether it is taking extra tasks or be able to be open to be coachable, receive feedback from coaches at work to see that area to see what are the areas that I need to improve, how can I get better, so that way I can improve my job performance. Training, focus on learning skills, which a lot of times it goes underrated because we focus on simply doing the job requirements, but a lot of times we have to we don't focus too much or talk too much about developing skills, and especially in today's economy, it's not about the job that you have or the business that you have. It's about the skills that you have. It's about your experience and skills that can set you apart from others in the marketplace. So that's something to keep in mind, and we can talk about that down the road. But again, going back to my experience, my focus was to do more than what was required or what was expected from me. Because again, as a person with Asperger's, I was struggling with different challenges, especially with communication, dealing with strugglings with multitasking and fast-paced environment, as I shared throughout my story. And I have doubts of myself, thinking that I was not going to survive that job. But I didn't want to let the limits of a disability or special need determine what I can and cannot do. So my focus was, okay, how can I learn about this? How can I learn about that? What are the tools and the skills that I need to learn so that way I can not only do the job, but more important, go beyond what is expected of me at the job. And also what skills I can learn that can help me throughout my career and life down the road. So having that open approach of learning, of being open and doing more than what is required, for me has been the key factor behind my success, and doing going beyond expectations, learning, taking opportunities, even in volunteer positions. When I started working with autism organizations, my focus was to learn more about the community. I started in the autism world as a volunteer, because what led me to volunteer was what has become my purpose of life. But I was not being paid for that position. But what I did was that through my volunteer experience, I was able to use that volunteer experience to get the necessary skills that can help me down the road in my life. A lot of times we tend to focus on getting paid more, but we're not willing to put in the effort or be open to doing more than what is required, or more than we're getting paid for. Again, you may or may not agree with this concept. You may say, oh, Tony, we're giving too much power to the employers, and we can be overwhelmed. And yeah, those are points to discussions. I understand. But again, I'm just sharing what has been helpful for me and something that hopefully can be helpful for you in a situation, because it's not just simply just doing more than is required from you. It also had to do with your mindset, because you can be doing a lot more, but if you don't change your mindset, then not much change is going to be, or not much change is going to happen. So it's very important to work with your mindset, put things in perspective. And this can be applied to, regardless of where you are, whether you're starting in the marketplace, whether you're going to college, whether you're graduating from college and getting into the marketplace, whether you're being entry level, mid level, executive level in a company or an employer, or even if you have your own business, doing more than what is required can be a key perspective that can make that difference for you in not only your business but also in your life. Because, for example, I work full time, but I'm also working on my business. I'm working on my education on the side. I focus on learning because I set myself goals to achieve in life and not to settle for less than what I can be and what I can do. So I focus the time to learn, and not only again business and personal development, but also in life as well. What am I learning? What am I learning every day? That can be a big difference in my life, and that's something that's been helping me because the experiences that I was able to gain through applying this principle had led me to the positions and the goals that I have achieved through my life. Working with the autism and special needs community and also mental health, working right now on my business as a life coach, also being a motivational speaker. I mean, I haven't been able to write my book, working my own podcast, the different projects that I have done throughout my life. This concept has been the key because I put myself to do more than what is the minimum required. And if you can have that mindset, it's something for you to think about. That could make a big difference in your life. So I ask you a question. Have you, I'm going to ask you, this question. Think about that we're in a coaching session. Think about this, feel like we're in a coaching session, that I'm your coach and you're my coachee or my client. I want to ask you, have you done more than what is required from your employer or your business? Have you really done more than what is required? Yes or no? And if not, I'm going to ask you another question. From this concept, what you can learn from this that you can apply towards not only your business, but also your life. What is it that you can learn about this concept of doing more than what is expected of you can help you in your life? Again, something to keep in mind is, something, I want you to really, really keep in mind about this concept is I'm, just doing more work doesn't necessarily mean that, that you're doing more than what is expected. It's not simply about putting in more time, which that's important, but how you're using that time, how you take advantage of that extra time to work on your skills, to develop the experience that can help you achieve your goals in your life. That's something very important to keep in mind. Hopefully, this principle that I share with you can be helpful for you in your career, in your business, in your life. I want to ask you what you were able to learn from this, today's video. What lessons, what things you were able to learn? What can you take from this that can be helpful in, not only your career, your business, or whatever you are in life? How can this help you in your process? I look forward to reading the comments right down below. And if you haven't done so, and you'd like to learn more about my work, I invite you to please subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Please spread the word with everybody that you know. And if you're ready to take that next step, if you're ready to go beyond expectations, go beyond doing the simple minimum work, then I invite you to visit my website, tonyhernandezpumarejo.com. So that way you can learn more about my coaching service. You can reach out to me and we can set up a time for me to speak with you and see if we can work together. Again, always remember you have a purpose here in this world, and hopefully this video has been helpful for you. Again, I want to say thank you so much for tuning into this new video. This has been your purpose-driven life coach, Tony Hernandez Pumarejo, and I wish you have a wonderful day or wonderful evening, whenever part and time of the world you're located. Blessings.